Hey, what's going on? This is another episode of the Big Red Wrap Up Off Season Edition. Uh, in full off season mode, but the news never stops. Um, about 3 days ago, let's put it like this: it's pretty much another. It's going to be another reset next season. With the season ending for Indiana basketball, there will be a new roster and a new beginning for them next season. But that's the world of the far as basketball these days. That's the way it is as far as basketball these days. But with the basketball season ending, why you for another year? But recently, Inside the Hall put out a story about 3 days ago, so it's pretty. But it's pretty kind of old, but useful, useful. But Pretty much a story, pretty much predicting what the roster is going to be like, or pretty much predicting the roster reset with the transfer portal window looming. Just to read the title of the story, but. But let me get right into the story because it tells a better story. It explains it better than than me. So let's get right into it. Inside the Hall. IU basketball faces another roster reset with the transfer portal window looming. This is brought to you by Alex Bosich. He published his story on March 13th, 2026 at 8:34 a.m. Okay. The Ken Palm profile of value basketball for the 25-26 season shows the Hoosiers ranked first nationally in one statistic experience. Pomeroy defines his experience metric as the average number of full D1 seasons played by the current roster, weighed by minutes played. All of IU's roster might have been new to the program, but no Division One school had more experience than the Hoosiers per Pomeroy measurement. Experience, however, wasn't enough to propel the Hoosiers to more than a 10th place finish. Experience, however, wasn't enough to propel the Hoosiers to a more than a 10th place finish in the Big Ten. As Selection Sunday nears has come to pass, a likely NCAA tournament miss appears to be the result of Darren DeVries's for Darren DeVries in his first season in Bloomington. Program had too many misses in the portal. It had key positions and couldn't overcome its deficiencies as the competition stiffened in conference play. AU now faces another roster reset when the portal opens early next month. When the Freeze took over a program in Bloomington last spring, the roster flipped completely in the weeks following his hire. his hiring. The attrition wasn't so surprising given the coaching change and the fact that players can no more freely be between programs while sitting out. Plenty of programs routinely flip rosters and find quick success. The hope was that the Freeze could find similar success in year one in Bloomington. For all involved, the program and the players, a fresh start was welcomed. With a clean slate, The Reeds and his staff had a chance to build a roster from the ground up. The Reeds brought in 12 scholarship players, including his son, Tucker, and retained the IU's lone high school signee, Trent Sisley, a Southern Indiana native who signed with Mike Woodson in the fall of 2024. So Sisley pretty much a Woodson guy. As the roster was constructed, it was on paper a decent balance between experienced and upperclassmen who could, in theory, contribute in multiple seasons. Well, most of the projected starters, Sun Belt Player of the Year, Taylor Conaway, All CUSA selection, Mara Woodson, two-time MVC Player of the Year, Tucker DeVries, who, and All ATM selection, Reed Belling, were viewed as the light when signed with and were seniors entering their final season of eligibility. Connor Enright, who played for the Breeze previously at Drake, and Sam Alexis, who brought experience from stops at Chattanooga and Florida, were also expected to be significant contributors. So you telling me, you had two player of the years on the last season's team. Let's go on. You had two player of the years in their conference on last year. Last year, Big Ten, break it down. but that, but there were also players with multiple seasons of eligibility. Nick Dorn, Josiah Miles, Jason Drake, and Josh Harris, to name a few, who were brought in to play roles for this season and potentially beyond. As the season tipped off, however, it quickly became clear that the minutes would be dominated by mostly experienced guys on the roster. It was an understandable strategy given the pressure to show progress and make the postseason in year one, a goal that is achievable and realistic expectations. Given the access to players in the portal and the resources allocated to acquiring players. The programs are set to appear in this year's March Madness, including first-year coaches Iowa, Virginia, North Carolina State, Miami of Florida, Whitmer New, Villanova, Texas A&M, Texas bubble teams such as VCU and Auburn have first-year coaches. So let me get this straight. First-year coaches, Iowa, he made it. Virginia, he made it. North Carolina State, he made it. Florida's coach made it. Villanova made it. Texas A&M made it. Yeah, that's what it says. I'm just reading. Oh, shoot. Less than 48 hours removed from IU's 14th loss of the season, a second loss of Northwestern, the program is on the brink of another roster reset. Uh, the senior-dominated roster likely won't hear its name called in the NCAA tournament on Selection Sunday in 3 days, and they sure didn't. In 3 days, and 6 of the team's top 7 scorers have exhausted their eligibility. This on its own wouldn't be a cause of concern had IU's upperclassmen shown promise and gained valuable experience ahead of the 26-27 campaign. But that didn't happen as only Nick Dorn and Sisley averaged in double-figure minutes in total. IU seniors averaged 65 of his 78 points per game, or 84% of his scoring. 65 over 78 points per game. Dang. 13 less. Even if IU brings back a few contributors next season, which is no certain, it's looking for another roster flip. with little to carry forward production wise. Who just had some solid wins against Purdue and Wisconsin at Assembly Hall, and also knocking off UCLA in Los Angeles. But 15 of the 18 wins came against teams ranked outside of the Ken Palm top 50. The Reeds had acknowledged the roster deficiencies this season, and as a hard and executive director of basketball, effectively a program GM, and Ryan Carr to assist with roster building efforts moving forward. He must do a better job of developing young players. You better believe it. It currently has three freshmen for next season's roster and make better decisions on players it brings in from the transfer portal. Amen. Um, Next season roster needs multiple post players. Yep. Who can at least rebound and defend in the Big Ten level. Amen. Yeah, that's preaching my sermon. The Hoosiers need a point guard. Yep. Um, who can break down the defenses and be a consistent scoring threat. Uh, yep. And IU needs to land a multiple upperclassmen in the portal who can be counted on to play more than one season to prevent the roster from becoming a continuously revolving door. Better execution in the portal this spring and development of a freshman class currently ranked in the top 20 nationally is a necessity if Indiana wants to take a step forward next winter. Yep. Well, he pretty much preached the sermon. Yeah, that's all that's to it. He needs to go. Yeah, like I say, what he said in this article. He needs to fill out that roster, get two big men to go with the big men that's already on the team, unless he transferred because he wasn't heard of whatsoever during the season. I think he only played a few. He played a little bit in the beginning of the season and disappeared just like that. But he needs a point guard. He's exactly right on the point guard because it's very hard to replace a guy in Wilkerson who pretty much scored over 40 twice in Assembly Hall. Um, but uh, but Indiana pretty much needs bottom line. Indiana pretty much need to upgrade at point guard. That's all it's to it. Enright didn't contribute nothing. He was a good assist guy, but anytime your minutes are more than your points, yeah, you better do some hard looking as far as getting a point guard. So, bottom line, he need in order to survive, or in order for this guy to survive, he needs one get a point guard like was said in the article, and two get two big guys, and if you want to get some power forward, so you can go with them two big guys. Because you can't do it with just one big guy in the middle. That's not gonna work. Because them days are done. The days of Tim Duncan and Shaquille O'Neal and Patrick Ewing. Them days are done. So you got to pretty much supersize your team in the middle with an emphasis on supersize. That's all it's to it. That's if you want to survive with as far as your having your job in Indiana. If he wants to survive as far as his job in Indiana. Because the year two, that's the year right there. Because like I said, it's coming off a 14 loss season. No excuses. There is money. There is money. Like I said, there is money. Indiana isn't poor. Indiana isn't poor whatsoever. Because especially as far as the list I've seen today and posted on the Indiana page, IU Unity. Shoot, 32 million spent on the program. Led the Big Ten. 13 point some to be exact. I don't know the exact figure, but it was pretty much 13 point something. You tell me you can't make this program straight, but like I said, it's all comes from giving pumping that money toward the football program. That's where it all comes from. But he's gonna need some do some work this all season with the guy because we ain't going no NIT. So that's there you go. You got plenty of time from plenty of time. Let's see. Yep, plenty of time from March 11th, 2026 to the beginning of the season to to put some work in. Because you cannot produce another season what any other else got to have it. Matter of fact, let's go back to let's go on back. You had two player of the years on your team. Yeah, everybody was a senior, so nobody was a young freshman didn't know what was going on. And speaking of freshmen, you got to he's gonna have to Sicily's gonna have to move up as far as he's gonna you got to put some work on him, develop him, so he can move so he can grow up. In other words, as far as a player, as far as a player. But thank God for the recruits, cause they're gonna need they're gonna need to come through right away, cause there's no leftovers from this past season, cause everybody was seniors, and that's all it's to it. So they're gonna have to contribute right away, man. That's why you gotta get some transfer portal guys, two big guys to go with that big guy that's already in there on the team. You gotta get some two transfer portal guys and power forward, a power forward, a true power forward. Yeah, got to put in the work. Yeah, got to put in the work. That's the only way Indiana can return. If we put in the work, put in the work. So, and, and it's like I say, it's no excuse anyway. Indiana isn't poor. Indiana isn't poor. Because if they can sign Signetti to a big old fat contract, Indiana isn't poor. That's all it's to it. That's all it's to it. Let me go on out for I'm preaching. I preached enough the other day. I just wanted to get this story in. Get this episode, Big Red Wrap Up podcast in. Been on my Facebook page too long anyway. So yeah, have a good one. I'm definitely in the off season mode. I would definitely be posting some good news as far as the program on the page, hooking it up with some good news. Hopefully we can get hopefully a lot of good news comes during the off season. So this program needs some good news. Yeah, we definitely need some good news during this off season. Uh, uh, a step forward, not 10 steps backwards. But like I said, this program needs some good news. Need to have a good summer. Yeah, that's what it is. This program is in need of a good summer. Yep, need of a good summer. But that would do it. Y'all have a good one. This is another episode of the Big Red Wrap Up Podcast vlog for March 16th on a Monday. Y'all have a good one. I'm gone.